Yeah, and
pressure.
what's worse is that it's not just that, but it's combined with financial repression. So if you're a bank or if you're a financial institution, the government may just require you to sit on them. You can't sell them. You just have to buy more of them, right? We saw this too during the Civil War. If you wanted to be a bank, you had to actually accept these greenbacks, right? So in other words, financial repression is how you essentially force feed, because let's face it, when inflation starts speeding up, everyone wants to, certainly aren't going to buy more bonds, right? Or would require a much higher interest rate. But with financial repression, you basically require people to do certain things.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing financial repression with banks being forced to own bonds. It's obviously it's sort of a way for them to apparently mitigate risk, but they are sort of being strongly encouraged to hold these things, as well as pension funds and other.
And it's amazing too how at least in America, how few Americans understand this. That in certainly in Japan and to some extent in France and Germany, a lot of the big pension funds are really, people often wonder, back in the days of, you remember those negative interest rate bonds, you remember that we had back when inflation was so low? Who in the heck buys these things? Well, to some extent, you're sort of in certain official positions, you're sort of required to buy these things.
Yeah, I think Austria did a 100-year bond or something, and someone's deeply underwater on that, I assume.
I think we have to go through these challenges, Anthony, because I think these challenges are what's necessary in order for us to become community again, right? And this is sort of, maybe I should mention this, maybe I should stress this, that ultimately my message is not one of pessimism, it's one of optimism. I think of myself as very much a long-term optimist. Certainly believe in liberalism and democracy. I certainly believe in America and what it is and what it could be. But I do think that the generational process of learning and relearning requires that we relearn community, and it's only learned for a new set of generations through the urgency of crisis. This is a lesson that comes up again and again. And by the end of this fourth turning, we will become more community oriented. We will become a more equal society. We'll become a more a culturally conventional society.